Welcome to our Saturday training. A very warm welcome back to Richard, who, as you all know, has been on holiday for a while, and we've not done some trainings because Richard needed a break. And um, Today's training is going to be really, really interesting, not just for me, but I think for everyone, because of the depth and breadth of knowledge that Richard brings to the subject. Now, there may be some people who are new to the call, and for those of you that are new, I just want to tell you a little bit about Richard. Richard is a remarkable individual. I've had the pleasure of knowing Richard for many, many years, and he's one of only 4 presidents in our company, which is an extraordinary achievement, given that he did that within 12 months of joining the business. And what you should know about Richard is that he is a very, very serious and professional businessman. He's recently stepped down as the director of a company, a pharmaceutical company here in the UK, and very, very professional business. As I said, I've known Richard a long time, and we once worked on a project together. So I knew him before I became involved in this business. As I said, he's an ex-company director. He's been an investor and a fundraiser for startup companies for many years, worked on a range of projects, raising millions and millions of pounds for various things. So his credibility is beyond question. And more importantly, Richard has had 20 years in our industry in network marketing. And not only has he had 20 years of experience, he's had 20 years at the top of the industry. He's been very, very, very successful in the industry. And that's very important, because you know that when you're hearing knowledge from Richard, you're getting it from somebody who has been there and done that. As I said, Richard started in our business around 12 months ago, and in that time has made some remarkable, remarkable achievements that have staggered even me and have staggered many people. So he was the 3rd president in our company. You know, the President's Club is not easy to achieve. It can be done, but he's only the 3rd person to ever achieve it, and that's a phenomenal, phenomenal achievement. And above all, Richard has been and still is an incredible mentor and support to everyone in his team, and gives up his time willingly, gives up his knowledge willingly, and has certainly helped me and many thousands of others start to be successful with our company. So Richard is somebody whose knowledge you can trust and rely upon, and who's going to deliver this morning's training to you on a subject which I know many of you will enjoy. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Richard and let Richard enthrall and entertain us for the next 40 minutes or so.
Thanks very much, Ray, for that very kind introduction. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. What we're going to be covering today on this call is the rewards plan. When you first join a business, or even if you've been in the business for a while, there's often things about the plan that you don't know. And it is really important that you understand the plan because then you can understand the potential of the business that you're in. I often do meetings, or I've been doing quite a lot of meetings recently, where people are being asked me to come on and actually show, get to help people really understand what a special business we've got with CashFX. And on those calls, I spend a lot of time going through the due diligence so that people understand that the business is not only real, but sustainable long term from a mathematical point of view. And then I go through basically, how we make money with CashFX and the potential of it, because it is genuinely special. So I thought it'd be a good idea just to do a sort of a general call and just go through the rewards plan so that all of you get a good idea of what you've basically got with CashFX and why it's worth putting the effort in to build it. So this is just the PDF, basically, the normal presentation we do. But what I'm going to do is just go through some of the additional bits that I don't normally cover during a presentation. Many of you will have seen my presentations where I talk about, the fact that we're working with a regulated broker who is publicly recommending us, which, doesn't get better than that. Well, actually, it does get better than that. In the next couple of months, in November, we're launching copy trading, where people will be able to set up their accounts directly with the broker. And the business is going to absolutely explode when we get that. You must understand that once you've got a product that, if the EA switched on by then, we're making over 10% per week returns. We've got a product where people aren't even putting their money into CashFX. It's going directly to a regulated broker, which is better than a bank account, mainly because the money's yours still. Whereas if you put your money into a bank account, it's no longer your money. It belongs to the bank, which a lot of people don't know. But that's money that you've got access to 24/7, and it's ring fenced. No one can touch that money. It's a regulated broker account, with no upfront or no monthly fees. The presentations are going to be very short when we get that, because I literally won't need to do any due diligence on the project. What else do you need to know? Your money's protected in a regulated broker account. CashFX trading, your account is directly copying those trades, hence the name copy trading. So again, that can't be faked. No one can turn around and sort of say, oh, CashFX is this, is that, because it's all out there in a regulated broker account and with no monthly fees, etc. What else do you need to know? Do you want to make money or don't you want to make money? It's as simple as that. But as you know, in the presentations right now, because the money's going through CashFX, it's important people understand that the business is real, and things like the regulated broker publicly recommending the company shows that categorically. The fact that they've spent $2.2 million on a headquarters, which is hopefully, depending on what's happening with the virus, going to be open soon. It should be open now, but when it is, that's going to be genuinely special. People will be able to go and visit that and this kind of thing. And there's lots of other things that I cover, but things that I don't cover are, for example, the mathematics on the business. And I will cover that a little bit here, just from a sustainability point of view. Because it is something, this is one of the reasons why I've been out of the industry for a good few years, up until I found CashFX, because every time I did due diligence on a project, it just didn't stack up. There was always something wrong with it, or multiple things wrong with it. But with CashFX, that isn't the case. Now, never any guarantees, and I'm always the first to say that. There's no such thing as a guaranteed business, but you can minimize risk when you understand the due diligence on a project. And it's important that you understand the due diligence on a project, because once you know the business is real and is very likely to be around long term, then it is worth your while investing the time to build the business, which is what I'm going to be covering in shortly regarding the rewards plan and the sort of money that you can make from the opportunity. So just a couple of things. Now, this is, it's just one slide in the presentation, but it is probably one of the most important slides in the presentation, because there's a lot of things hidden behind this slide that are really important for you guys to know. Now, one of the things, again, from a sustainability point of view, obviously we've got the Forex market, $5.3 trillion a day. So there is the liquidity in the market to enable CashFX to become a very large company in the coming years, without that being an issue. But there are a couple of other things, like, for example, the way the company trades, the fact that, I've seen companies that have just manual traders, and that's okay. Manual traders can be very, very good. The problem is, again, from a sustainability point of view, is that, can you imagine, you are an individual, a small group of a team of traders that are having to trade, day in, day out, 5 days a week, every single week for years and years and years. That the potential for those traders to go off is high. Same thing with companies that just have a bot. Their own EA, which they've purchased off the shelf. If they can't adapt that EA, then it's going to come a time when it's not going to be that effective. And this is something we see a lot. With what CashFX is doing, which is very clever, they've got the combination of the two. So they've got the live traders combined with the engineers working with the EA system. So the EA system is doing all the heavy lifting, but the traders are constantly monitoring what's going on and looking at the markets and making sure that you know, that the system is being optimized all the time. And that's what's happening at the moment. The traders are currently manually trading, which shows they can do an amazing job. But you know, the EA is being tested behind the scenes and is about to be relaunched. And we're going to see those increase in returns, not because the EA is better than our pro traders. It's just simply because it can do more volume. But it's that combination of the traders. So the pressure's being taken off the traders. You know, they don't have to be, you know, working 24/7. The machine is doing all the work, but they're there in the background just monitoring what's going on and can adapt it. Now, there's a couple of other things that the company's done which are remarkably clever that protects the business long term as well. But one of the things that you know, people are already making six-figure monthly incomes with CashFX, and let me tell you, this is the tip of the iceberg. We're going to be seeing people making millions of dollars every month in the coming years from the business. And often I hear this comment, well, it sounds too good to be true. And this is what I want to show you now. This is totally true and totally sustainable. So we know that the trading is real. That's the foundation. It's the foundation for everything. And that's why I emphasize it when I'm doing the presentation, the business overview, the fact that the trading is real. Once we know the trading is real, then everything else flows from there. And as I said, when we get copy trading, there will be no doubt, you know, in anyone's mind. People won't have to even do due diligence or think about it. It'll be just there. It is what it is. Your money's in a broker account. That can't be faked. So the fact is, we know the trading's real, and that is where everything flows from. All the rewards plan comes from the trading money, all the returns that are being made from the trading money. So when you buy a package, in this case, we've got a 1K pack here, 70% goes towards the trading deposit. The other 30% goes towards the Academy program. Now, this is, you are a new member coming into the business. Now, one of the things, by the way, that defines what is a Ponzi is where it's new people coming into the business that's basically paying the people that's already been in the business. And we've seen that again and again and again in the industry where companies have done that. It's just money on paper, you know, just numbers on a screen, and people think they're making money when they're really not. And the money's just coming from new people joining the business. As I'm going to show you, that is not the case with CashFX. Remember, the pool that we're taking the money from is a $5.3 trillion a day market. Absolutely vast. It's almost an unlimited well of money, and that's where the money is coming from to power the whole program. So when you buy a 1K pack, you're someone new joining CashFX, you're bringing in money from the outside, from your own account, you're putting it into CashFX, you're buying a 1K pack. That pack is then, as I said, split into two. 70% goes to the trade pool, the other 30% is then taken, and 100% of that is paid out to the Academy program. Now, a couple of things. People often ask me, you know, does CashFX need to be regulated? If CashFX was regulated or needed to be regulated, then we'd all need to be regulated. And of course, that's not practical. That's not going to happen. But this is why the company's set up the way they are set up. Remember that the lawyers that they're using are the Washington-based ex-litigation arm of the SEC. So what they don't know about, you know, this kind of thing is not worth knowing. They were the company or the legal team that actually prosecuted people for not being compliant. So, you know, they are happy with this plan and the way it is set up. So the company is listed as a training company, not a trading company. And as you can see here, we only get paid from the Academy program. We don't receive a penny from the trading account. This is important. So if I was, for example, selling you a product from a bank or whatever, say a bank loan, and I sold you that and I received a commission for that, I'd need a license for that. However, if I'm currently using a bank loan from the bank, and I think it's a very good product, and you're a friend of mine, and I said, well, listen, you know, you should borrow money from the bank as well, and they'll do a great deal, this, that, and the other, and you go and do that, and I don't receive any commissions. That is just a referral, and that's exactly what we're talking about here. This part of the business is a referral, nothing more. We only get paid on the Academy program. Now, the Academy program is being launched in November as well, and that is going to be a world-class, government-accredited training program. Now, the top pack is going to cost $30,000. Now, is the training program worth that? Well, yes. You know, we know traders that have been on courses that were $100,000. So you can spend a serious amount of money on Forex training. So $30,000 is not a, you know, a big amount compared to some of those other training programs. So, but this is going to be a world-class product. It's going to be government accredited. Again, from a credibility point of view, when we're approaching people regarding the business, you know, being government accredited is pretty good. It's the only network marketing company in the world, I think, that is government accredited. So that's in addition to the fact that we're going to have copy trading and a $2.2 million headquarters, et cetera, et cetera. So this is important. So the other thing is this: you'll note that the 1K here, 70% is taken, that's traded. The 30%, 100% of that is paid out. Where's the company making their money? They're making their money because, let's say we get a 10% return, they're taking a percentage off the top. I don't know what that percentage is, but they are making a percentage off the top. One of the questions you'll often get asked is, well, why do they need us if they're such clever clogs? Well, the answer is they don't need us. However, it's good business sense to have us, because you think about that. We are building a massive, massive fund for the company that they're getting that percentage off the top. So this is a perfect symbiotic relationship where we're making money and they're making money as well. So that's why you know, it's very good for them to have this this business model. And of course, Waskar also wants to give back and everything else. I mean, he's already a very, very successful individual. I was talking to him the other day, and he was joking with me the fact that if he'd known the amount of work he was going to have to put into Cash FX, he, you know, might not have done it in hindsight, because he set the he was already, you know, he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He doesn't need the business from a financial point of view, but he wanted to give back, and now he's obviously, you know, time-wise, he's giving back significantly. But the fact is, you know, it's also good business sense. Waskar's a very sharp individual, very, very clever businessman, so he wouldn't do something for nothing, and the company's making very serious money from the business model. So that's, again, why they need us. So getting back to what I was talking about here, so you get a 1K pack, 70% goes through to the trade deposit, 30% is paid out, 100% to the field. Now this money is now traded, and the deal is you're going to get 2 times your $1,000 purchase back. Now this is real money. That's money that you've withdrawn. So it's not fake money, not money on a screen. And this money has come from a $5.3 trillion a day market. Now this is the key, okay? Because that is real money, you know, most people are going to come back in and upgrade. But just for this example, we'll keep it to the fact that, let's say this person wants to stay at a 1K pack. So they use this money, real money, to come back in and buy another 1K pack. So no one new has joined the business. It's the same person. They've just made money from the trading. They've come back in and purchased another 1K pack. That is real money, and that money is then split. 30% goes towards the fast starts and the unit level, and the 70% goes back into the trade pool. That is then traded, and again, 2 times money's made, and they can come back in. So this cycle will be repeated again and again and again. Remember, this money is coming from a $5.3 trillion a day market. So when someone is on a 100K pack, so someone is purchasing a 100K pack, $70,000 goes towards the trade pool, $30,000 goes towards the academy program, which, by the way, puts huge amounts of money into the rewards plan, as you could imagine. This is then traded. The person gets 2 times their money back, $200,000. That's real money. They're taking their profits, and they're coming back in and buying another 100K pack. That's real money. No one new is having to join the business to continue this cycle. So this is really important. So we know the trading's real. And as I said, in November, you know, everyone's going to know. If anyone had any doubts, you know, which they shouldn't have, because as I said, it always makes me smile when someone says, yeah, well, I know a regulated broker saying that they're really good, this, that, but I want to see proof. It's like, well, no, seriously, that's a regulated broker. There's no way a regulated broker, unless they like gel food, of course, I mean, it's a possibility, but from a due diligence point of view, it's pretty unlikely. The fact is, the fact you've got a regulated broker saying that the company, recommending the company publicly, shows that the trading's real. But for those people that ignore that fact and want to wait, when we get the copy trading, as I said, it's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel, because where, you know, how can you get hurt at that point? You can't, you know, doesn't matter what CashFX does, your money's in a regulated broker account. So this is, as I said, this is the power of this, because this is fueling the business. Now, as you'll note, this is $1,000 here. The Academy program here is paying out 100% of that. So you've got $300 to go into the rewards plan, $150 goes to the Fast Start, $150 goes to the level bonus. But imagine once this gets up to a 10K pack or a 100K pack. So a 100K pack, for example, will pay out $15,000 here, and $15,000 goes into the unit level. That is vast, vast money, which puts, as I said, one of the things I'm going to talk about today is the fact that the rewards plan is 10 times more money up front than any business I've been involved in over 20 years, but it's 100 times more once you take the same business 3 years down the line, because what happens is when people first join, they join at $300, $500, $1,000 packs. Of course, there are people that come in at much higher levels. We have people joining at 100K all the time, but the fact is, you know, the vast majority of people are going to come in at those levels, and when they do, you're getting, you know, up to say $300 on a 1K pack going into the rewards plan. But as over time, as those people upgrade and upgrade and upgrade, then what you're going to see is the income being generated from the business growing exponentially. And that's one of the key powers of CashFX. Now, one final thing I'll just quickly show about this is one of the things that the company's done here, which is very, very clever, is they know they've got a very sustainable business model. You've got the market with the liquidity, you've got the trading set up the way they've got it set up, which is designed to be around long term. We know that the company's only paying out, you know, there's no fixed percentage returns, there's no fixed time frames. Again, whenever I see companies with that, you just walk away, because it doesn't work like that in reality. You know, the traders can have a great week, they can have a not so good week, you know, and if you have a fixed percentage, that's all, a fixed time frame for a pack to complete, that is not sustainable. Compounding is another one. Compounding is brilliant if you're an individual, okay? If you then pull that with hundreds of thousands of members, it's not a sustainable business model. So again, we don't have that with CashFX, but what we do have is if the traders are doing well, the pack speeds up, if the traders are doing less well, the pack slows down. So that's, you know, all these factors are designed to make sure the business is sustainable long term. But where the company's been really clever is they know that there can be times, and the way it's set up, there may not be times like this with CashFX, but they've already planned ahead just in case there are. They could have a period of time where the traders don't perform so well over, you know, 1, 2, even 3 months until they can adapt to whatever particular market condition is causing this slump. They know that that can happen in trading. Now, of course, if that happens in a network marketing business, that's not good. People just want to see, you know, they just want to see their returns. You know, most network marketers are not sophisticated investors and understand you can have highs and lows and everything else. They just want to see those returns, and if it keeps going up, then the better. The company understands that. So again, what they've done is very clever. John Kinnear went over, my role, who's the marketing director of the company, went over and spent 3 days with the company. And I have to say, I did feel sorry for them because John can be quite blunt in his approach. But he went through absolutely everything with a fine-tooth comb. And I remember him coming out of the meeting with them. He had a 3-hour meeting with them when he went through the maths of the model. And he phoned me up after and he said, boy, what these guys have come up with is genius. It's so clever. So basically what the company's doing is this: when you buy a 1K pack, this money is then traded, you get 2 times your money back. But what happens to this original 70%, and $700 in this instance? The company gets to keep that. So every time you buy a pack, renew a pack, or upgrade a pack, when that pack completes, the company gets to keep the original deposit. So what are they doing with that money? They're not just going off and spending it. They're actually using it as a second traded fund. Now, the numbers I'm going to show you here are completely made up. They're just to illustrate how this works. So let's say we have a $10 million fund in trade. So money that is, you know, packs that haven't completed yet. So what's happening there is obviously the money's being traded, it's live. So let's say you've got a 10 million fund. The company now may have built up another fund from taking the packs that are completed and putting this into this pool of another $10 million fund. So they're actually trading $20 million. So we might see a 10% return on $10 million, which is fantastic. But the reality is the company's actually been trading 20 million. So they've only had to perform at 5% to give us that 10%. Now, if we fast forward a few years from now, the company could have a $100 million fund that is trading alongside the $10 million worth of live trades that, that we see. So again, we're seeing a 10% return on a $10 million fund, when the reality is the company's actually only had to achieve 1%, because they're actually on a trading $100 million fund to give us that 10%. So this is genius, what they've come up with, because it basically means that we've got that protection long term. Whatever happens with the markets, the company is going to be able to give us that performance. This is one of the reasons why we're capped at a maximum of 15%. So this is incredibly exciting when you understand that. So when you look at every aspect of CashFX, the business, how it's set up, you look at the way the maths on the business model adds up. This is all really powerful. So it's important. I wanted to show you this so that you can understand that the money I'm going to show you is real. It's coming from the Forex market. That is what's powering absolutely everything. Okay, so as you can see here, the 30% is taken, 50% goes towards the fast start, and 50% goes towards the unit level. Now, the fast start is quite extraordinary. We've already got, remember, the traded money. The trading money, I'm on a 100K pack, so I'm generating between $4,000 to $5,000 a week. Now, think about that. That's life-changing for most people. Now, that's without the EA switched on. Once the EA switched back on again, we could see returns as high as even 15% a week. So that's looking at up to 60% a month, which is absolutely insane. So $10,000 a week potential coming in from just the trading side. Who can do that? Well, that's absolutely every single person on this call. Whether you build a team or not, you will get up to the 100K. If you go out there and build a team, you can do it in a year. I've got grandmothers in my team that are getting to the 100K pack from starting off the small pack, getting up to the 100K pack in 12 months. If you're a passive member, it's going to take you a lot longer. It's going to take you anywhere between 5, 6, 7 years, depending on trading returns. But just to put that into perspective, if you're looking at, say, comparing this with a pension will take you, 30, 40 years of putting in $300 a month. So where else are you going to get that kind of return from just $300 one time? And just, it takes time. There's no effort because you're not building a team, etc. But the fact is, if you go out there and build a team and or put more money in, of course, you can get there a lot faster. So that's the core, as I said, of the business. But the fast start is just quite extraordinary. So I'll use myself as the example. I do this in the business presentations as well. I started off with a $300 pack. Now, I could have come in with a much, much higher pack. Now, the reason I chose to come in with it because it was a decision, because I knew that if I started with a higher pack, people will do what you do. Whatever pack level you come in, the people you introduce will do what you do. So if I'd come in, say, with a 10K or 20K pack, people would have joined with a much, much higher pack than they did. So I knew that if I joined with a 300 pack, people would probably come in with a smaller pack. But that didn't matter, and that's the power of CashFX. But what I did want to do is show people that you can start for 300 and get up to the 100K pack without putting any more of your own money in, and I did that in 8 months. Now, of course, I have accelerated the process, key thing there, because I built a significant team. But as I said, I've got people like Hazel, for example, 68-year-old grandmother, never done anything in this business before. She's taking the business very seriously, I might add, but she started off with a 1K pack. She's now on a 100K pack in 12 months. So that's very open to absolutely everyone, and so really important. But I started off with a $300 pack. When I did that, John received $45 from the fast start. So the 30% was taken and $90, and half of that goes to the fast start. The other half goes to the unit level. So John received $45. Not a lot of money, but, and this is the key to CashFX. Remember, we don't have any upfront and we don't have any monthly fees. Unlike most other businesses out there, most other network marketing businesses fuel the business by having monthly fees. The problem with monthly fees is they cause attrition. Why? It's because a monthly fee comes out of your bank account up front. And so people are paying up front for a business. And if they're not making much money from the business, guess what? They quit. And that's why you end up with attrition. Now, I've been in product-based businesses. I was the number one income earner with a company, for example, called Melaleuca, which is a product-based company. Very reputable company. It's been around a long time, still trading very well today, billion-dollar company. But the attrition was very high because of that exact reason. They had to buy products every single month, and unless they were making money from the business, they quit. So CashFX is different. Everyone makes money from the business. So if you introduce your grandmother to CashFX, you know whether she does anything, she's going to make money from CashFX, and that's what powers the business. People are making money that enables them to upgrade, and exactly the same thing happened with me and John. I was making money, so therefore I upgraded, and when I upgraded, John received another fast start. Then I upgraded to the 1K pack, he received another fast start, and so on and so forth, all the way up to the 100K pack. Now that I'm on the 100K pack, my pack's completing every 1.5, 2 months now. Basically, John is receiving $15,000 every 1.5, 2 months from me as I renew my 100K pack. Now just think about that, guys. $15,000. So let's say it is 2 months. That's $7,500 a month coming in. Think about that from a network marketing point of view. How big a team would you need in another business to give you $7,500 a month? Big team, thousands of people. In CashFX, one person who started off for $300. Okay, and this is the same thing I'm seeing with my own business now. I have just introduced 17 people. I haven't gone mad. I haven't gone and introduced hundreds and hundreds of people. By the way, that is open to you and highly recommended. The more people you can introduce to CashFX, the better with this fast start. Not to mention the unilevel, because you've got a load of people in the front line that gives you that width for your unilevel. But the fact is, I've only introduced 17 people, and because I started off with a $300 pack, most of the people I introduced also started off with a $300 pack. People do what you do in this business. And sure enough, those people have gone out there and have been upgrading and upgrading. And I've now got quite a few people in my team already. Martin, Marina, for example, many of you on this team, on this call are in his team. Hazel and others have now hit their 100K pack. But a remarkable stat, and it was something that struck me last month, was the fact that just from the fast starts alone, from 17 people I introduced just for $300, I think the most was $1,000 in that group, but most came in at $300. I made $28,000 last month just from the fast start. Now, I've got a very big team with CashFX. It's growing very fast and all of that. Not everyone on this call is going to be able to achieve that, but you can go out there and introduce 17 people or even 10 people to CashFX. Whether that takes you a week, whether that takes you months, whether it takes you a few years, you can introduce those people and they can come in at $300. But once those people start to work their way up through the packs, you're going to see an income that's growing faster and faster just from the fast start bonuses. So $28,000. Now, I'm also on a 100K pack. So that's generating around $4,000, $5,000 a week right now. So you combine those two, I made over $40,000 in August. Again, think about that. I'm not talking about you going out there and building a big team. I'm talking about you going out there and introducing a handful of people to this concept. And remember, when we get the copy trading, it is really not going to be a hard sell at all, because where's your risk? So think about what you've got here with just this fast start combined with the pack. Get yourself up to the 100K pack. Introduce some people, watch their accounts grow and grow and grow. They are making money. That's the power of CashFX. They are making money, and that's enabling them to, and they're making that money from the Forex market, remember, and that's enabling them to upgrade their packs, and you're going to be getting paid more and more and more money. So this fast start alone is off the charts incredible. So you then throw in the uni level. You know, again, when it's quite funny, because when I've got leaders in the business that understand the rewards plan, they're like, I can't believe this. This is just insane. And the payout is so huge, but as I've shown you, completely sustainable. That's the power of this. This is not pie in the sky, you know, oh, it's going to collapse at any time future. No, it's not. So again, remember, the 50% goes to the fast start, the other 50% goes to the unilevel. And this 10% here, down through 4 levels, that's a serious return. You know, someone, again, it's not much when someone starts off with a $300 pack. It's only, what, $4.50. But someone gets up to a 100K pack, you're looking at $1,500 from just one person. Now, as I said, in most other MLM companies, the fast start and the unilevel is normally just a one-time bonus. When someone joins the business, they pay an upfront fee, and then that's it, it's gone. Now, of course, in CashFX, we don't have an upfront fee, so that's better already. But the fact is, when people are upgrading and upgrading and upgrading, you're receiving that fast start and the unilevel again and again and again, but without putting any pressure on the person that's doing that. So an upfront fee is something they've got to pay out before they even start the business. With CashFX, you're coming in with the money, you're buying a pack. So you are buying a pack, but that pack is going to be making you money. And as I said, when we get the Academy program, you're also going to be able to learn an incredibly valuable skill of being able to trade yourself, which makes you completely independent of any company out there. I can't wait till we get that product, because a lot of people are going to take up and learn how to become a quality Forex trader themselves. But anyway, I digress. So this 10% is very serious. Get yourself to executive. Now, executive's not easy. You know, it takes real effort and commitment and everything else. But I can't remember how many people we've got in the team, 270 people, was even 300 people, I can't remember. But a lot of people have got to executive now. So again, my recommendation is set your SMART goals. If you don't know about SMART goals, go into the Power Build System library and watch the trainings we've done on those, because goal setting is incredibly important, very close to my heart. If you don't have goals, then you're just drifting. You haven't got anything to hit at the end of the day. If you don't have a target, you're not going to hit anything. But this is one of the goals you want to try and hit, is executive, because you then pick up the 20% here. Now, again, to put this into perspective, this can pay out as much as $3,000 on a 100K pack. Now, if you look at my business, for example, you know, I'm not going to talk exact numbers, but I'm making very serious money from CashFX. But the key thing here is that what I'm earning now is a drop in the ocean to what I'm going to be earning in 3 years from the business. Because if you look at my business, you know, you see this extraordinary income coming in, and yet it's from people. Most of the people in my business are on the $300, $500, and $1,000 packs. So not, not big packs. But what's happening is they're upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. So I'm making the money that I'm making right now, which is extraordinary, 10 times more than any business that I've been in to date. But that is just a drop in the ocean, because I see people that have bought a $300 pack, and I've on my 5th or 6th level, and that's paid out just $9. But of course, they're then going to get to the 500 and the 1,000, and that number is going to grow and grow and grow. Once they're on the 100K pack, and they will be, then you're looking at making $3,000 from one person in your business on these levels. So you think about that. You know, if you go out there and build a business with CashFX, you're not going to have one person there. You're going to have hundreds, even thousands of people on this level, you know, on a 100K pack, making you $3,000 every few months. I mean, it's absolutely extraordinary when you look at that. The income potential from CashFX is quite extraordinary. So, you know, so it's important you understand this. Whatever you're seeing now, if you've already built a team, you know, that is just the starter. You know, as people in your business are making more and more money as they're upgrading their packs, so it genuinely is a win-win situation with CashFX. They're winning because they're making more money, but you're also winning because as they're upgrading, you're receiving that additional money every single time they upgrade. And once they get up to the 100K pack, they'll be renewing their pack again and again and again and again. So John, my enroller, you know, he's going to see as I'm upgrading my pack every 1.5 months now, he's going to receive that $15,000 again and again and again. from one person he introduced for $300. So the same thing applies here. People can join for $300, but over time, they're going to upgrade and pay you more and more and more. Once you get up to President's Club, then you start picking up what's called a global bonus, which in the case of President, you get that 1%, which gives you unlimited depth income. Now, again, I've seen rubbish written online. Oh, you know, how come they pay out 100% here? So how come they can pay out more, you know, what unlimited depth bonuses? Again, those people that wrote those reviews saying that they are experts are not experts because they don't understand network marketing. This is paid from what's called breakage. And what happens here is that obviously, you know, how many people get to executive, you know, whatever percentage that is. Fewer people get to manager. Very few people get to director. I think there's something like around 30 directors in the world. And extremely few people get to president. And yet, this 10th level is still being paid out. The money's still there. So it's got to go somewhere. So this is what's called breakage. You know, the people that don't get to manager, that money is gone. That goes into the pools. Same thing with director, same thing with president. That's becoming a big pool. So the company wants to pay that money. It's money that, you know, they want to pay us. And so this is one of the ways that they can pay us is by paying this global bonus 1%. And there'll be other things. They'll have other incentives. They're going to probably come up, I don't know, this is just, again, off the top of my head with holidays and all sorts of things, trips for executives, etc. Now, the matrix. So again, this is a genius, again, the way CashFX has come up with this. Matrix with other companies are always funded by a monthly fee or an auto ship or whatever. People buying a product or whatever, month in, month out. Their garage is steadily filling up with product that, you know, they're not going to be able to use, etc. And I had the same problem with, you know, Melaleuca. The fact that the minimum points requirement was so high that the attrition was so high simply because people were ending up buying more and more stuff that they didn't need. And I kept on saying to them, look, you know, get rid of the minimums because then people will buy what they want and we'll end up with much higher retention. But no, they wouldn't do that. So that was one of the reasons why I left the company. But with CashFX, remember, we don't have a monthly fee. And this is where this is so clever. What we do have is a 20% withdrawal fee. Now, there are people out there that go, oh, that's terrible. You know, it's 20%. That's really high withdrawal fee. Well, if it was just a withdrawal fee, then yes, it would be. Certainly, if the company was taking that money, they wouldn't keeping that money. That wouldn't be good. Understand that if you are with a broker account, for example, with a copy traded account, normally I've seen brokers charge up to 35% on profits, and that's money they keep. With CashFX, the 20%, 100% of that is paid to us in the field. And the key thing, and this is why we have such high retention, is at the bottom line, no one cares about the 20%. It's all about how much money you're making at the end of the day. If you're making a lot of money, and we are making a lot of money with CashFX, even as a passive member, that 20% is just a thing that's taken off the back end. Doesn't really affect us, but it puts huge amounts of money into the matrix. So key difference, by the way, between the matrix and the unilevel. The unilevel is when you introduce someone, you get 10 people under that person. Okay, 10 levels, 10 levels under that person. So you can go wide and you're going to have 10 levels all the way along. And that, as the unilevel, your top position is the top position. Okay, whereas in a matrix, it's 3 by 10. So when you introduce someone, you could introduce someone here. The next person you introduce here goes here. The next person you introduce goes here. The fourth person you introduce then goes here, drops under this person. The fifth goes here, the sixth goes here, seventh goes here, etc. Now, so these people here, if you are introducing those people, and let's say these guys are passive members, those people that you're introducing are now coming in underneath them. So this can be your front line, but it's on your second level of your business because you said you've got that finite width, 3 by 3 down through 10 levels. So whereas this, you can go as wide as you like, 200 people, well, you still can introduce as many people you like, but in the unilevel, you can go as wide as you like, you get those 10 levels under each position. So if you can introduce a lot of people, so there's a sort of a combination with CashFX. If you can introduce a lot of people to CashFX, and by the way, there are people in the business that I know of that have introduced 200 people personally. Again, you think about that and the fast starts, and the unilevel, what they're going to make from the unilevel, absolutely huge. So going wide is an advantage with CashFX, but again, it doesn't matter how wide you go, you're still going to, in the matrix, it's positioned underneath. You get the 3 frontline positions, then you get the positions underneath that, and so on and so forth. And this is paid down through 10 levels. Now, one of the great things about the force matrix is that you don't, unlike the unilevel where you have to qualify, you have to, get to executive to pick up this position, you have to get to manager to pick up levels 7 and 8, and so on and so forth. With the force matrix, you don't need to do any of that. You can be a passive member and still end up earning off the matrix down through 10 levels. And the way that works is basically just by upgrading your package. So if you're a passive member on the $300 or $500 pack, you get levels 1, 2, 3. You get to the 1K pack, you pick up level 4, etc. When I was building my business, because of course I was making my own matrix, when I upgraded to the 20K pack, my matrix commissions doubled overnight. So that is the power of the matrix. Now, I don't know whether this is still live at the moment, but we had a sort of, because of what was going on with the virus, the company very kindly said, well, listen, you don't have to have, get to a 1K pack to pick up all 10 levels. So you basically, it didn't matter what package size you want, you could be on a $300 pack and you get all 10 levels of the matrix. And it was quite funny because I had people in my team at the time going, where's all this money coming from? I'm making all this money and I'm only a passive member. It's simply because the company let all 10 levels free without you having to qualify for it. But presumably, if it hasn't already, this will switch back to as it should be, which is basically you need to upgrade to the higher pack to pick up the additional levels. So if you're in an active team, even as a passive member, as I've shown you here, as a passive member, people can be positioned in underneath you and you can pick up those commissions from those people underneath you, which is really powerful. Or, as I said, if you're a team builder like I am, you can go out there and build a team, so you're effectively making your own matrix. But your front line could be on your 4th level of your business, for example. Some of you've introduced, because this is already filled up, could come in down here. It doesn't really matter, but it's just about filling up your matrix. And as you can see there are 88,000 potential member potential here, which, let me tell you, is vast. Because let's have a look at this here. On your 7th level of your business, we receive 30%. So to put that into perspective, you're going to see people with a 100K pack on that level where you're going to be making up to $6,000. That's what that 30% equates to. $6,000 from one person in your business. So again, if I look at my own matrix, again, I'm earning very serious money from the matrix every single month. But again, it is the tip of the iceberg because most people in the business are on 300, 500, 1K packs. Fast forward 3 years from now, when those people are up at 30, 40, 50, so 30, 50, 100K packs, whatever, you're going to basically see vast returns from the matrix. So again, this is so lucrative, and yet it's not fueled by monthly fees, which cause attrition. So we have the retention as well. So that's a very important feature of the rewards plan, is the fact that when you build a team, you keep a team. Now, I have heard of some people leaving CashFX to join other things, which always makes me laugh, bless them. They're going to be doing that, jumping from deal to deal to deal for the rest of their lives probably, and they didn't realize what they had with CashFX, because hopefully, as I've just shown you now, this rewards plan is easily and by a long way the most lucrative plan I've ever seen, and you have to understand it. One thing I would say is make sure that if you are withdrawing from the business, certainly early on, make sure that you're not withdrawing too much money. It's really important. You've got to treat the business like a real business. If you were in a traditional business and you withdrew too much money, you kill your business. Same thing with this. Now, we did actually cover that, I think it was last week. Ray covered that. Basically, don't kill the golden goose. So it's important you understand that once you're building your business, don't take out too much money. In my first 8 months, which is the time it took me to get to the 100K pack, I put most of my income back in because I wanted to get to the 100K pack as quickly as possible, but I still withdrew $30,000, which is what I just called a wage, just to sort of, just to take some money out of the business. I've got other leaders in my team that have taken out a lot more than that. It's taken them a little longer to get to the 100K pack, but the fact is, they decided to take out a little bit more. But remember, you just take out the amount that you want, but not too much to enable you so that you can't upgrade later on. Just some things, on the rank positions. To get to executive, you need 500 personal volume points, which means you've got to have a 1K pack or higher. You need to have at least 3 referrals, 3 people you've personally introduced, 25,000 personal group volume. That means from the people that you've introduced. That doesn't include people that have been put in your team from the matrix. And that's $50,000 worth of sales per month. You can get there with a handful of people if they come in with bigger packs. The downside of that is, of course, that lasts only 30 days. This is a rolling average, by the way, a 30-day rolling average. I might just talk about that now that I've brought it up. So basically the way it works is this. In other companies that I've been involved in, at the end of the month, you go back to 0. Okay, so your account goes back to 0 and you have to build it up again throughout the month. CashFX didn't want to do that. They wanted to have a rolling average because that's nice because you still see the money you've got there, but you'll see it fluctuates up and down, your personal volume points. And the idea being is that because you've got to remember, you can't be paid twice on a pack purchase, only once. So you've got to have those sales coming in, every month. And so the idea is you've got to have $50,000 worth of pack sales coming in, every single month to make sure you maintain your executive position. Now, that may sound a lot, but it really isn't with CashFX. If you look at my business is currently turning over $14 million a month, personal group volume. So, as you grow your business, as your team grows, you'll find that, you'll get up to executive and maintain a position, roughly around 100 people, something like that. And by the way, 100 people may sound a lot, but it isn't. You go and introduce some people, and you'll be amazed, at how you can get up to those kinds of levels. As I always use, she's such a great example, Hazel Moore, 68-year-old grandmother, never done anything like this before. She's got a team, I think, going on 500 people now. From her business. Now, one thing that has changed, and it's just been introduced, was the fact that you now have to have a maximum of 15,000 group volume points from one leg. Now, what that means is you could have 1 million points in one leg, but if you don't have another leg as well, then you're not going to be able to advance to executive. So the maximum point value you're allowed per leg, so as I said, you can have 1 million points in that leg, but the maximum that will actually count towards you going executive is 15,000. So you're going to need at least 10,000 points from the rest of your team somewhere to enable you to have enough points to get to executive. That could be one person, that could be 5 people, it could be 10 people, whatever it is, you need that additional 10,000 points elsewhere to make up that 25,000 points. Get to executive, really worth it. You get an Apple iPad or $675 cash. You can take the cash instead. I would say that most people take the cash because it's a very nice little upgrade lump sum to enable you to upgrade to a higher pack more quickly. Manager, again, you need 75,000 personal group volume points, which is $150,000 a month turnover, and you need 2 executives from 2 separate teams. So again, 2 people that have achieved this. Get to manager, you get a $10,000 Rolex, or you get $7,000 cash. Again, most people take cash, $7,500, which is a very nice injection, either to buy an upgrader pack or do what I did. I actually took the money as income. Get to director, again, so you need 250,000 points now, so that's $500,000 per month of turnover. So you're now starting getting very serious in the business. Remember, there's only 30 directors in the world right now, but this is a very good target to aim for. And you need 2 managers, so people who've got to this level from, again, 2 teams. President is much more difficult because you need 3 directors from 3 teams. That's the challenge, and this is one of the reasons why there aren't many presidents in the business right now. I think we've got quite a few bubbling under the surface. We're going to see quite a few people start, get to president in the next month or so. But the fact is, you now need 1 million points. That's $2 million turnover in your business. But it's worthwhile getting there because obviously the prize there is either $75,000 cash or the Porsche. And let me tell you guys, the Porsche is very, very nice. I'm really enjoying my car, and I'll do some videos and stuff so you can see what it's like. But again, this is open to absolutely everyone. There's going to, as I said, there's leaders now coming through. We're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 coming through very quickly now. Now the big business is progressing, and we're going to see a lot more people getting to this level. Anyway, ambassador, etc. I won't bother with going into that. Now, leadership matching bonus was a question I always had, because I kept on saying to John, what is it? And even he didn't know. The way this works is this. Remember, when you get to president, you get that 1% down through unlimited levels. Well, what happens if someone underneath you gets to president? Well, when they do that, then obviously they're going to be picking up the 1%, because obviously if you have president, you know, there's going to be no, you know, that's not sustainable for the company to pay out 1% for everyone. So when someone gets to president underneath you, then they start picking up the 1%. But what you get is a 50% matching leadership bonus on top of that. So again, the company's covered that particular thing. So that's really it, guys. You know, the rewards plan is simple, but it is the best I've ever seen. It is totally sustainable, as I've shown you. That's so important. You know, it's all very well, you know, having a lucrative rewards plan, but if the model's not sustainable, or the money's coming from new people joining the business, then that's not good. With Cash FX, the money is coming from a $5.3 trillion a day market, and that's where everything flows from there. So just to sort of finalize, what I would say is this. I've already mentioned you've got copy trading coming in a couple of months. Now, that is going to make this company an absolute no-brainer for people. All these people sitting on the fence, all these people that said, oh, no, it's this, that, and the other, won't be able to say that anymore. Because, you know, it can't be faked. The money is in a regulated broker account. There are no upfront, no monthly fees. It doesn't get better than that. If the EA switch is switched on by then, we could be seeing returns as high as 15% a week. So you could imagine what's going to happen to the business at that point. Now, this is the point. You can wait until then. That's okay. You'll make some really good money. But the people that are going to be making the fortunes are the people that are building now. It's always the way, guys. You know, there's a few years from now, there's going to be people standing on the stage living the dream. You know, the houses, the cars, you know, the lifestyle, you know, making millions of dollars a month. And people in the audience be going, wow, look at those guys, you know, but some bright spark's going to say, yeah, but those guys got in first. And guess what? Yeah, absolutely. Getting in first in any business is an advantage, not just in network marketing. When I invest in a startup company, what am I doing? I'm getting in first. I'm buying the shares for next to nothing, knowing or hoping, more to the point, or planning. Planning's better because, again, for the due diligence stuff, planning that in the future, those shares are going to be worth a lot of money. So it's the same thing in anything. If you come up with a new business concept, you know, the people that do that first are very often the people that make the really, really big money. And you've always wanted to be in first, you know, gosh, I wish I'd thought of that, etc. Well, you're in that position right now. But the point being this, when someone says that those people got in first, yeah, they're absolutely right. Yes, they did. But so did thousands of other people. They also got in first. You are all in first. We've only been trading for a year now. We haven't even got the copy trading. That's still 2 months away. So you've got to think about it and do your due diligence. I was taught this. I was very fortunate. My first network marketing business, I was recruited by a gentleman who was the #1 income earner in that business, very charismatic individual called Carlos Ray. And he taught me a lot about network marketing. And one of the things is that when he joined that particular company, he'd been already trading for many years, and he was going through a dip. But he was a traditional business person, a successful guy, and he did his due diligence, and he saw the fact the company was going to be huge. Because, you know, all the due diligence stacked up to that point. He reckoned it was going to take around 2 years. So while everyone else was sitting on the fence, oh, we'll wait and see, wait till the company, not doing their due diligence, just like flotsam. They were just floating along. Oh, you know, I'm sure it'll get better. You know, this, that. He went to work, and he worked really hard for 2 years, flat out, literally 24/7, meeting people at 6 in the morning for breakfast, that kind of thing. But he ended up building a big team. And of course, as predicted, the company then got it right, and the business exploded. And he said at that point, he said, everyone started to go to work. He, on the other hand, went and sat on his yacht. He became the #1 income earner in the business because he had a big team already. And when it took off, the whole team just went boom. And so that's the same thing for you guys. You are positioned in front of a company that is going to be a monster with this kind of product, this kind of rewards plan. You know, everyone around the world is suddenly going to go, huh? Oh my goodness, I want to be involved in that. And there is going to be a gold rush. So the bigger your team you have right now, the bigger the money you're going to make. So you've got a choice right now. You can be one of the people sitting in the audience and go, yeah, I got involved in the business right at the beginning. You know, wow, those guys, look at the money they're making, fantastic. Or you can be one of those people standing on the stage living the dream. That's what you've got with Cash FX. It is set up properly. It is going to be around long term. So it's up to you. And you know, all we can do as leaders is show you the potential. It's up to you to then put in the work. And by the way, that's the great feature of this business. It is a great level. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, what experience you have. It's all irrelevant. If you're using the Power Build system to build your business, that takes you as an individual out of the process. You're letting the tools, the system build for you. It's just down to activity. Those people that are working hard are the ones that are going to be making the most money. And if you look at all the top leaders, they're all very, very different people, very different characters, different personalities, different ages, different backgrounds. But they've got one thing in common. They are working. They're on it until the job gets done. And they're also goal focused as well. They're always aiming for the next goal and looking at doing it properly. As I said, go back and watch the training module on that. You'll understand what that's all about. So anyway, guys, I hope you found that helpful. As I said, there's a lot to learn when you first start a business. But one thing I want you to take away from this call is whether you understand the detail or not, just understand there is a serious amount of money here right on the floor. The analogy I use, you've got a field covered in gold bars, you've got a wheelbarrow. It's now up to you to go out there and pick as many of those gold bars up as you can in the coming months, particularly before we get the copy trading. It's going to be easy after we get the copy trading, but you want to do it now before we get that, because that's the bigger your team. When that copy trading comes in, the business is going to explode and your business will explode with it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you found that helpful. I'll just pass you back to Ray if he's got any final comments.
Wow. I always find these trainings, particularly Richard's, very, very interesting. And I always know that I'm going to learn or going to discover a golden nugget in whatever Richard says. And I definitely have discovered a golden nugget today. I've got a team of around 700 people nearly, and I didn't realize that upgrading the packs earns you more money in the matrix. So right after this call, I'm going to take that back to my team and say, hey, did you know that upgrading your pack means that you earn more money in the matrix? I didn't know that. That's the golden nugget that I've taken away from this particular training. Lots of other stuff, really good stuff that Richard has put out there today, and I've learned more than one thing, I must admit. So whenever you come into these trainings, come in with a mentality that you're going to learn something, that you're going to take something back and educate, excite, and edify your team. I always have a notebook when I'm on these trainings. I always make notes because I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to not understand anything. So, and the way Richard presents things to us is really clear and concise and understandable. So thank you for that, Richard. And he's absolutely right. There are people who are on this call right now. You know, there are 347 people on this call. Richard and I both know that in a year's time, some of these people will be, you know, driving Porsches or even Ferraris and on hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars every month, because they went to work and they did it now instead of doing it later. you know, I often say jokingly to my team, there are three types of people in the world. There are those who wait for things to happen, they are type 1. There are those who make things happen, they are type 2. And there are those who get to the end of their life and wonder what the hell happened, and those are type 3. And inevitably, type 1, the people who wait for things to happen, end up being type 3, the people who get to the end of their life and wonder what the hell happened. The type 2s generally make a success of their life, particularly in network marketing, and they go and take the world by storm. I like to think I'm a type 2. I definitely know Richard is a type 2, John Kinnear is a type 2, Martin Arema is a type 2, and many, many other people in this business who I talk to and communicate with are type 2 people. And I'm going to leave you with this thought, is that, you know, if you're not talking to your upline, you're not talking to your team, then you're not communicating to your business. And your net worth is the mean average of the 6 people you spend most time talking to. Just think about that. Your net worth is the mean average of the 6 people you spend most time talking to. So once again, thank you very, very much, Richard, for a really enlightening training. Thank you for educating me. I'm really grateful. We will have a training next week. We've got something in mind. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for your time, and we'll all let you get on with your Saturday, and we'll see you very soon. Thanks very much.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.